So the air quality not as much as a concern today, but unfortunately that risk for fire spread is elevated because of winds out of the south that could gust up to 20 miles per hour and humidity that will drop down to 25 to 35%. That risk includes all of New Jersey. Thankfully, we will get some much needed rainfall starting tonight, lasting through tomorrow. Things are dry currently. Temperatures in the 50s and the 60s. It's 61 in Central Park. Here's a look at the numbers all around the map. Down to 50 in Danbury. As cool as 48 in Morristown, Toms River, 41 for you. Winds out of the southwest ranging from 2 to 8 miles per hour. That sea breeze will keep temperatures cooler for the south-facing shores again. Skies are clear to partly cloudy, and we'll see increasing high cloud cover with a high of 78 in the city, the 60s once again for the south-facing shores, and the 80s inland. Heather?
And if you're commuting around New Brunswick, I just want you to know there is an accident Nickel Avenue both ways between Comstock Street and Dudley Road. It involved a car that hit a pole. So this is right near the Cook Douglas campus in New Brunswick. Then the George Washington Bridge. Going to the inbound side, you look great, but the outbound side, you see that right over there? They are slowly clearing that construction across the span as you go outbound. So this may affect your ride, as you can see here on the Cross Bronx as you go onto the westbound side across the Alexander Hamilton Bridge, getting into the George Washington Bridge. So do keep that in mind. This is how the Lincoln Tunnel looks. It looks great. Alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect. Charlene, over to you.
Thanks so much. 7 minutes away from weather and traffic together. So this morning, temperatures are in the 60s in the city, but outside of the city, the 40s and the 50s. Not a bad start. Later today, warm again, 78 across New York City, but the 60s for the south-facing shores thanks to a sea breeze, and for interior areas of New Jersey, closer to the 80s. Now, Toms River, 77, but look at Jackson up to 80, Old Bridge, 82, and Middletown, 77. South winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour. For your Friday weather wellness, air quality not as bad as yesterday, up to moderate, but pollen levels still high. It's spring, UV index of 6. I want to show you your forecast for the Yankees game this evening. Pleasant temperatures, 62 by first pitch, the upper 50s towards the late innings. South winds ranging from 9 to 12 miles per hour. Looking ahead to this weekend, a wet start to Saturday and still a chance for a few showers and storms Saturday afternoon, but the second half of Saturday will be better for any outdoor activities. Sunday drying out, but much cooler and gusty, 61 gusty winds up to 35 miles an hour will make it feel even cooler outside. Heather?
And when we first got on the air about 40 minutes ago, I was talking about this overturned tractor trailer 84 east of exit 15. It's an overturned tractor trailer. This is in Southbury. It is still out there. So if you're planning on going up to the Southbury area, factor in some extra time. Fairfield Road in Fairfield, New Jersey, the ramps to and from Route 46. It's a water main break, so do keep that in mind. This is not too far from where we have our sinkholes on 80 both ways at exit 34, so the ongoing repairs are happening. And the Holland Tunnel coming inbound, no major issues to report. Alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect. Pedro, Charlene, over to you.
All right, thanks so much. Sunny today, a little less hazy, but the fire danger is elevated for New Jersey. More about that in just a second. But this morning, temperatures are ranging from the 40s all the way to the 60s. It's 61 in Central Park. You can see partly cloudy skies. Most of this is high cloud cover. That will be the case all day. And air quality is good. The AQI is 45, but that could turn to moderate later today, but much better compared to yesterday when we were unhealthy for sensitive groups. So looking at the map, the 50s and the 60s, even the 40s and some of the coolest spots, Bridgeport 55, Montauk up to 60, and 55 as well in Islip. Winds are out of the southwest ranging from 2 to 8 miles an hour. We'll keep a sea breeze too. So winds could gust up to 20 miles per hour, and relative humidity could drop down to 25 to 35% this afternoon. And that's prompting an elevated risk for fire spread that unfortunately includes most of New Jersey. So not great conditions to contain the fire in Ocean County, but at least we'll get a round of rainfall as early as tonight, lasting throughout the day tomorrow. This is a recap of the Jones Road fire. Over 15,000 acres, 50% contained. It could grow today, just depending on the conditions. We'll get the next update at 10 o'clock this morning. When it comes to the smoke forecast, not as bad as yesterday, but things could turn hazy late this afternoon throughout this evening, and all of the smoke is out of here early tomorrow thanks to a cold front cleaning up the air. On satellite and radar, things are quiet, just clear to partly cloudy. Taking out the camera view, high pressure moving offshore, and now we have this approaching emerging area of low pressure and a stalled front. Check out all of the moisture ahead of this front. That is all heading our direction, so some much needed rainfall. When it comes to the timing, we're dry this morning. High cloud cover increases as we head throughout this afternoon. A wide range in temperatures thanks to a sea breeze. The 60s along the south-facing shores, the 70s in the city, and the 80s inland. Even this evening, still not bad. Just a chance for an isolated shower far north and west of the city. After midnight, that's when most of the rain starts to push in. Some of that could be steady. Even a chance for a few downpours, and the bulk of the rainfall Saturday morning. Now, we're not completely dry Saturday afternoon, just more so isolated to scattered showers and storms. One or two of those storms could be gusty and putting down a good amount of rainfall in a short period of time, but then we dry out late Saturday through early Sunday. Rainfall totals could range between 1/3 of an inch to an inch and potentially some isolated heavier amounts. So the bigger picture showing this cold front moving offshore behind it, gusty and much cooler on Sunday. So a big difference in the feel the second half of this weekend, even though things are drying out. But nice and warm temperatures return on Monday. We get back up to the 80s Tuesday and Wednesday. Today, close to 80 in the city, the 80s around New Jersey and portions of the Hudson Valley, the 60s near the south-facing shores, and then clouds increase this evening. Rain late tonight, wet tomorrow, especially Saturday morning, 73, but we'll still have a chance for isolated to scattered showers and storms Saturday afternoon. For the rest of the 7-day forecast, 61 and gusty on Sunday, winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour, and Monday 73, back to 80 Tuesday and Wednesday. Heather?
All right, Brittany, we heard Brittany talking about the smoke conditions that are down in South Jersey because of that fire, the Jones Road fire. Let's talk a little bit about how the conditions on the roads look. Now, the road is open. The Garden State Parkway is open, but we do have fire crews and Turnpike Authority monitoring the smoke conditions, so I will keep you posted. Now, as you go to the George Washington Bridge outbound, that's traffic, the headlights coming towards us, you can see that it's completely open, but as you get onto the span, leaving the Bronx, you may experience some delays. Lincoln Tunnel looks great. An alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect. We'll be back with more traffic news and weather after the break.
So today, thankfully, air quality will be a little better, but unfortunately, the weather will make it harder to fight the fire. There's an elevated risk for fire spread because of low humidity and winds that could gust up to 20 miles per hour, but thankfully, we'll see a round of rainfall tonight through tomorrow. Rainfall totals could range between 1/3 of an inch to an inch all around the tri-state. So wet on Saturday. Now, we'll have to watch out for Sunday because winds will be gusty. Even though the ground is going to be saturated, we'll have gusts up to 35 miles per hour and humidity dropping down to 30% throughout the afternoon. For your Friday weather wellness, moderate air quality, high pollen levels still, and UV index of 6. As you get the kids ready for school this morning, temperatures are mainly in the 40s and the 50s. We get up to 78 degrees in the city, the 80s inland, but much cooler once again, especially for the south-facing shoreline. You're going to miss out on the 80s around Suffolk County. So Brookhaven 65, 65 as well in Montauk. Riverhead up to 70 for you and 71 degrees in Smithtown. Looking ahead to this weekend, a wet start to Saturday, but showers and storms could still linger throughout Saturday afternoon, but it turns more isolated to scattered, a high of 73. We dry out Sunday, but we also cool down to 61. Gusty winds up to 35 miles an hour will make it feel even cooler with mostly cloudy skies. Heather?
Talk about the northern
These in some spots, but that also means that risk for fire spread is higher for New Jersey, so we'll have to watch out for that. This morning, a really nice sunrise thanks to high thin cloud cover. Temperatures in the city 61 and air quality is good at 48, but that could turn to moderate all around the tri-state, still better compared to what we had late yesterday. Temperatures are starting out in the 40s, 50s, and the 60s all across the map. It's down to 48 in Morristown, 57 in White Plains, and Islip, good morning, 55 for you. Southwest winds ranging from 2 to 8 miles an hour, and that sea breeze will really start to ramp up later today. Winds out of the south could gust up to 20 miles an hour. That combined with humidity that will drop down to 25 to 35%, leading to a higher risk for fire spread, especially for New Jersey. Any spark could spread very quickly. We've already seen evidence of that. So here's a recap of the Jones Road fire. Over 15,000 acres is 50% contained. We'll get the next update at 10 o'clock this morning. When it comes to the smoke tracker, smoke could increase later this afternoon throughout this evening, but still better compared to yesterday. And then that cold front pushes all of that out of here by tomorrow. We'll get a round of much needed rainfall. On satellite and radar, skies are clear to partly cloudy, thin cloud cover spilling in. That's near high pressure, but I am watching this approaching area of low pressure and a stalled front. Check out all of this moisture that's getting closer and closer. That's why we'll see some rainfall tonight, lasting through tomorrow. So let's look at the timing. This morning, dry. This afternoon, high cloud cover continues to increase. Temperatures only reach the 60s for the south-facing shores thanks to a sea breeze, the upper 70s in the city and the 80s inland. This evening, still mainly dry, but mostly cloudy and a small chance for an isolated shower, mainly north and west of the city. But after midnight, that's when the bulk of the rain comes in through early tomorrow morning. Some of that could be steady, maybe even a chance for a few downpours. Still wet by noon, and later Saturday, it's not completely dry throughout the afternoon, but we will see more sunny breaks, a better time to go outdoors. Keep the rain gear handy because we'll still have to watch out for a chance for isolated to scattered showers and storms. We dry out late Saturday through Sunday. Rainfall totals could range between 1/3 of an inch to an inch all around the area. Today, 78, mostly sunny. Clouds increase later. Potentially some haze too. Winds out of the south ranging from 8 to 16. And tonight, 59, clouds increase, still mild, and a chance for rainfall, especially late. Tomorrow, 73. A wet start, but we'll still see isolated to scattered showers and storms Saturday afternoon. It turns breezy too. Winds out of the west-northwest ranging from 15 to 25 miles an hour. For the rest of the 7-day forecast, much cooler and gusty on Sunday, 61, 73 on Monday, and back to the 80s Tuesday and Wednesday. Heather?
All right, Brittany, let's zoom on into our maps now and discuss what's happening here as you go on to the Garden State Parkway. So Brittany was just discussing this with the smoke conditions down here. So the Garden State Parkway both ways between exit 74 and the Barnegat tolls. Fire department and crews from the Turnpike, they're all out there monitoring these smoke conditions. The Garden State Parkway is open, but it is subject to closure depending. Now, we also have the New Jersey Turnpike right in front of Newark Airport. No major issues, but you can see this truck right over here. It's off on the side of the roadway, so we may need to get some heavy-duty tow out there. Not sure what's really going on, but just keep that one in mind. So far, so good on the Turnpike, the Garden State Parkway, and street cleaning rules are in effect. Shirley and Pedro, over to you.
All right.